Hi there, and welcome to the latest workshop for HighLevel from Marketer-M8. So today we're going to be covering forms, surveys, and quizzes. So we'll just wait for everyone to join, and then we'll restart the video. See you then. Okay, so regarding forms, surveys, and quizzes, we'll start with looking at forms, the simplest, then work our way up to surveys, and then finally onto quizzes. And also showing you how they integrate in with the automation side of things. So to find this functionality, we go to the menu called Sites. Right there. Yeah. And then you see here we got Forms, Surveys, Quizzes. So we'll start with Forms. Yep. And you'll see I've got a list of forms here. So one of the things I like to say to people is always keep your forms and your system organized so you can keep track. Yep. You see here I've got lots of demos going on and things. And I've ended up with a big list of things that could be better organized. But for demo purposes, that's what not to do. Yeah. So in this instance, we're going to look at forms. Now here's one I set up earlier called a contact us form. So let's pretend we want to build a form to embed on a website to capture contact us when people go to the contact us page. So here's a form I did earlier. That one, yeah. Um, and we can when you bring up a blank template, when you start with first name, last name, and email.
Recording in progress.
Hang on a sec. We've got someone on. Someone's got the microphone on. Is that okay? Good. Yeah. So this is a web form. And onto this web form, we can drop in custom fields. Yeah. So you can pull in your custom fields or to capture the agency name. I can pull that in there. And when the form is filled in, it's going to capture data into the custom fields. We'll put that one off for now. And obviously in HighLevel, you can have unlimited custom fields. So you can build this form out as large as you want, capture all the data. A couple of extra features we've got in here in custom fields we can do. Fields here. If I go to add, we can also upload, create forms where people can upload a CV or images or anything like that or files of data. We can do that. That's a feature we've got available in HighLevel. You can have all the usual ones like radio buttons, date pickers, numbers, single lines, etc. So we can capture custom data. And the way you customize this form is you go to this little icon here, and you might decide you want it to be a two-column form or a single line, depending on how your website is structured. And you can change the field widths, etc., and padding. There's a lot of formatting you can do in here. If you go to options on submit, the important one is where do you take them when they submit the form? So obviously you could go to a URL or a message, and an order confirmation. I've not used that one myself, so I'd have to look at what that one does now. But I'm guessing it creates an order automatically. And obviously you can put your Facebook pixels on there. We've got more form settings here. So here, for instance, sticky contact. Yeah. So if you enable that, if you send somebody to the form or from the browser, we know who that person is, it'll automatically populate data in for them. So that could be quite useful. Uh, GDPR compliant font. If you want to use that, I've never used that myself. Enable time zone. Again, this gives us the option to capture the time zone of the person that's filling the form in. It might be useful. That's the options, and you can obviously got various themes. So what you do here is you customize this form within HighLevel, and then you go when you integrate it, you've got integration options. So you might decide to have it as a sticky sidebar. In most forms will be inline, of course. You'd use the inline option. You've got various actions there. You can share the form as a link. Or we can embed it as it embeds as an iframe. It doesn't embed it as HTML code. So it is an iframe you're embedding, and you customize it within HighLevel. That's basically the form settings. Obviously, you can look at two versions of the form. Just always check that it makes sense in both the mobile version and the desktop version. Any questions, anybody there? All quiet, Atticus?
All good so far.
Okay, brilliant. So what we've created here,
Julian,
oh, hi there.
sorry, I did have a question on the sticky form bit.
Yes,
So I'm aware that with a form or with a URL or a funnel that you can create, you can set it up so that if you know a customer already,
right.
you
Yeah.
can pre-fill that with um, some suffixes after the URL ID, so you can have a username or an email address or something like that. If that if that URL is coming in with an email address, will that, if you put the sticky contact in, will that fill the email address box?
Definitely, yes. Yeah. I mean, in the URL, like you say, if you the URL you send in from, say, a high level email, yep. If you can
Yep,
append the first name, last name, email, yep, onto that,
yep,
it'll automatically grab it and populate these fields, yes.
fine. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. So pretend now we've designed our form. So if we embed this form on our website or wherever we put it, it's just going to capture data. Yep. It's not going to actually do anything more than capture the contact with any fields and pop it into the high level database. So very quickly, I'll just recap on the workflows and how this form then becomes a trigger in the workflows. So just recap on workflows, go back. And the same principle applies to surveys and to quizzes later on. So we go to automation because the forms, etc., don't sit in isolation. So create a workflow. I'll start from scratch very quickly. Yeah. So obviously all the workflows start with triggers. In this case, the trigger would be a form submitted. Got to be careful now because this will trigger when any form is filled in, which obviously we want to be a bit more specific than that, especially if you've got 10 or more forms, something like that. So add filters, and the form is, and you'll see it's called Contact Us Form for Website. So now we've effectively connected in that or hooked up that form we looked at before straight into the workflow. It's going to do our automation. So then we save that trigger. Obviously, give it a nice name so you can recognize where it's from. Contact Us Form. So that's that. And then obviously we just take them on a journey now. So the form has captured the data, it's triggered the workflow, and then we can do all the other marketing things like send them an email. Send them an email. Again, we cover all this in other areas, but they're just very quickly. Yeah. So you can send them an email. I'll just quickly put that in the action. And then we can send them a text. SMS, send a text. Yep. Put that in there. We could create an opportunity. There's so much you can do, yeah. Opportunity in the pipeline, the sales pipeline. Let me save that. Won't let me save that, cancel that. And a nice one to have as well is to use the internal notification. Yeah. So quickly, I'll just show you that one and I'm finished here. Send internal notification. So obviously, the great thing about internal notification, we can send a staff member or yourself an email. We could ping you on the mobile phone app. Yeah. Make sure you've got the mobile phone app installed. Yeah. If you haven't got the mobile phone app installed, go to your app store on your phone and look for lead connector. Okay. So it's lead space connector. And just log in with your high level credentials. You won't find it under high level there. It's like grey labeled as lead connector. So you can send a notification to the mobile app, you can send a text to you or your member of staff. So yeah, it's really handy for notifying also our members of staff when a new lead comes in, for instance. Okay, so that's how we connect up the forms and surveys and quizzes later on to the automation. So the form just captures data. The automation then does the marketing for us. So that's the end of what I want to say on forms, unless anyone's got any questions. Nothing, Atticus?
Nothing
Anyone?
so far.
Sorry, Atticus.
Nothing so far.
Okay. Oh, so it must be making sense. Okay, so I'll move I'll move on from forms then to the surveys. Okay, come back, go to sites. We'll look at surveys. So again, a survey is like the next level up from a standard form. It's like a form built over multiple pages. So rather than, if you've got lots of questions to ask, then rather than having one massive form, yeah, you can split it out over a number of pages. And we can also apply conditional logic in there as well. So you might have a 3-page form with questions on each page, but if they answer yes to a question on page 1, they might skip straight to page 3. So we can apply various levels of logic so that we can tailor the survey more to that prospect or that lead based on their answers they've given us. So let's see, here's some previous ones here, but I'll set up a new one here because I found a nice one earlier. So if I go to add a new survey, I'll use a template here. And I spotted this one earlier. So if we use that template there, I'll bring this template in. So obviously, you give it a name, whatever. This one is, you see here, that's slide 1 of the survey. That's slide 2. And that's slide 3. We're asking. So you can use this as a way of qualifying inquiries, take them down a journey. If someone says they're not interested in your stuff, then you can stop the survey there and then for them, and sort of they're not suitable leads, so we can remove them from our pipelines, so to speak. Well, you see here, if I show you the preview, this is what this one looks like. So this could be embedded on your website, or it could be standalone like this. Obviously, you go through the survey like that. You can make all these required. Yeah. So that's quite a nice one, I thought, with that little icon there. So that's a survey. It's a way of splitting that form in a nice, friendly way over multiple pages. We go back to, if you click on here. So what you got to watch out for with some of these templates is this is asking the questions here. Yeah, but it's not actually creating a custom field, I believe. It's just capturing data. So it's not adding the data to a contact record. Obviously, if you want to do that, then you use your custom fields here. You can drag those in. Yeah, drag them in like that. You can play about with that. And here, for instance, you can see I start to apply logic. So logic. So if I website design, if they select here website design, I could take them to stage 3. Yeah, slide 3 rather, or if I could disqualify them immediately or after submit. So you can start to apply the logic here based on the questions and move them around to the correct part of the survey for them. And obviously it's the same process again. You've got you can customize it here. You can make it one question at a time or all questions at a time. You can change the width, you can change the colors. You've got again, I have here, just the agency branding and things, different themes to start you off. So yeah, it's just a case of playing with it and coming up with your own surveys really. See here we've got the various pages we can take them to. Obviously, it's probably best to take them to your own URL back to your website, but you can just have the message pop up. And it's exactly the same process if you go when you go back to your workflows. As soon as they submit the form, you trigger a workflow and you can filter it. So not only is it when the survey is completed, yep, you could actually trigger different workflows based on answers they give you here. So opting to say website design here might trigger one workflow. PPC marketing might trigger another workflow. So you can tailor your marketing based on the responses they're giving you to the survey. Any questions so far, Atticus?
Could you show us where the survey templates are?
Survey templates, yeah. So let's go back. I'll just stitch that one, yeah. So again, you go to sites, surveys, and then go add a survey. You start with a blank one, or you go to from templates there, like so. As you see, there's hundreds of them. So it's often with these templates is rather than trying to, you might not find an exact template for your business niche, but it's more a case of finding one you like the look of, and then using that as a starting point. Often I find it's a case of it's easy to take stuff away from a template rather than start with a blank canvas and build from there. There's another one here you see. And HighLevel, I think it's every Sunday there's a new batch of templates for emails, websites, surveys, etc. coming in. So obviously you can add more pages you need to. You can duplicate pages. Yeah, just build it out to your requirements. So surveys are great for qualifying leads, taking them down a journey using the conditional logic. Is that okay, Atticus?
That's great, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I think I mentioned before, obviously, when this survey is filled in, it's a trigger in the workflows again. Okay, so come back out there. And then finally, we're going to come to the quizzes. Yeah. And here's one I did prepare earlier. So first of all, I'll show you one I prepared, and then I'll walk you through the setup here. Okay, so just pop to my website. Where are we? And I was working on this last weekend, so I'm not saying it's a finished article yet. It's in progress. Let's go here. Bring the website up. Okay, so straight away, I mean, this is the quiz here, so it's embedded on the page. So I think I need to make the background better. Something I'm working on. But then you see here, I think I've got 16 questions in here. Okay, so I'm just going to start filling questions in. Yeah, this is all people. If anyone's interested in HighLevel. So here's some conditional logic here. Do you have a team member who is or could become your CRM champion? If I say yes, it takes me to this question. Yeah, and then eventually that'll take me to back into the main questions. But if I say no, it bypasses all the questions related to the team member and straight into the next section. So that's conditional logic working behind the scenes there. So if I tick on yes, it goes to different questions. Comfortable with that. Got a few hours a week to work on HighLevel. Previously, they were using these tools. Occasional marketing campaigns. Yes, I do. So again, this is conditional. The conditional logic kicks in when I'm answering questions here. So I think I have 16 questions here. Yeah. I'll pop in my name there, like that. At the end, I'm capturing the data. Press submit. And it brings me in a report. So on my little questionnaire, I had 4 categories. So I must have skipped that section there. So you see here it says I see it's telling you the potential because I was picking mid-range questions there, answers rather. It's got me as a potential fit there. Yeah, if it answered no to everything, I'd be a no fit. So that's just the survey, and straight away I've set a setting so that I'll get an email myself, and whoever's completed the survey would get an email as well. I'll see if that's come in yet. Bring that across here like so. Yeah. You see here I've got one that comes to me because it's my quiz, and then this is the results for whoever's completed it, and they get a little report. It's you can't customize this email, I'm afraid, so this is pretty much it. So I think there's room for improvement from HighLevel's point of view here, because that's doesn't look the fanciest email, and we can't customize it any. So that's what they would see if you enable it so they can receive the email. Obviously, this is very similar. This is what I would receive to notify me that someone's completed the survey. So yeah, the room for improvement on that area, I think. Um, that's a survey there, and obviously here, depending, all these areas are customized based on the results. Yeah. So for instance, here, if it's a potential fit, I've got the option here to book a discovery call with me. Yeah. Uh, if it was a no fit at all, they really are not a fit for HighLevel or to work with me. So it would basically say, oh, here's some other resources you should look at. HighLevel's not for you. Yeah. But in my case, anything above these ones really, if it came out as a low fit, I'd say something like it doesn't look like it's a great fit for you unless you've got a specific use case that you need to use HighLevel for. Maybe use one of the tools in particular. So again, all these would be given the option to book a discovery call. Okay, so that's what it looks like there. And I'll show you the back end now, how you manage this. So again, you go to sites, quizzes. This is the survey we were just looking at. I'll click on here like that. And it's just like the surveys actually, the quiz. My screen's gone all dark. Hang on. So you see, we just have an each you put questions on different pages. So you see here, I've got all these pages, and then obviously here is the results template we'll look at in a minute. So these are all the pages in sequence, and onto those pages you embed your questions. That's first question. So again, I've got four categories of questions. This is the business growth stage. You see here, for each answer, I'm allocating points. That gets 0 points, 1 points, 3 points, 5 points. And that's how the scoring works. We can't, on HighLevel, we can't have minus points. It's 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. There's no minus points. We can't deduct points. Yep. And also on these questions here, you'll see we're able to apply logic in here as well. Jump to rather. So if they answer a particular question, I can then jump them to the next question, or to different pages, different images there, it looks like as well.
So can you add images to these pages?
Yeah, let me have a look mine here. Oh, yeah, I added this image. Yep. So you've got the usual builders here. You can have quiz, different types of quiz questions. So these are actually questions on the form. They're not custom fields. So if you want to capture the data onto the actual contact record, you'd have to use a custom field. These are just going to ask questions and give you a report at the end of it, but the data's not on the contact. But here you see here, you can even ask for ratings, which is quite a neat feature. You can ask people for how many stars you'd give something, the new one you see. But here you can upload an image here, just drag an image, upload an image. Put that one there. You can put an image, you can drop images in there. You can put text in there to explain. There's some text there. Okay, ask us any other questions?
Yeah, I've got a couple. The on submit, you pressed the button, didn't you, just to put your details, and that wasn't from HighLevel, was it? That was from LastPass.
Oh, sorry, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's just my LastPass working. Yeah, so you wouldn't normally have that running. Yeah,
Bear with me. I think that's everything. Oh,
that's
do you think the quizzes are better? Are good enough to replace something like Score App?
uh, they're probably not as sophisticated as Score Up, I must admit. But there again, they're built into HighLevel, so you're not paying extra for them. And Score app can be quite a beast to set up. I don't know if anyone set up Score app. That can be quite a thing to set up. But I think over time you'll find the high level surveys quizzes improving. Yeah, it's still quite a new feature in high level. And you probably know that high level is always evolving. So, and they work on feedback from subscribers. So it's constantly getting tweaked anyway. So it's only going to get better. But you know, if you got a yeah, there's use cases for both. You know, you got something maybe a bit more polished at the moment and go for Score App. There's cost to that. Um, I've set up Score App for clients as well, and I must admit I've not had much use. I've not had much success with using them, getting people to actually fill them in. So the other day I put this on my website on the homepage there to see if anyone fills it in, and no one's filled it in yet. Um, but I mean, not to say they don't work, it's just not worked for me yet. So here we set up all our pages like so. This is a lot easier to set up than Score App, in my opinion. And there's no progress bar in the system either. So what I did is I created a series of images. You see them here. It looks like a progress bar. So you might want to create an image like that, or you could put in the bottom here, page 1 of 3, 4 of one of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3, to give people an idea of how they're progressing through. I know it's not going to go on forever. So that you set up all your questions there, and you come to the end here, and you click on the edit template. Yeah. And here's where you customize your results page. Okay. This took me a while to get my head around it, and I did need to go to tech support on this one. So because it's so I've got 4 categories of questions: no fit, low fit, potential fit, and great fit. Yeah. And what you have to do is, again, on here, you customize the top section here, the header. Yeah. And then you get your overall results page here, the overall results. If you click on that, it gives you a little menu here, yeah. And here you can play about with your score tiers, your scoring. So this gives you the percentage scores to fit into different categories, yeah. You can add more tiers, less tiers, whatever. So you have to customize each one of these depending on the categories you've got. Here I've got a no fit, see I've got those 4. Dial there.
Today.
Oh, okay, no questions. Yeah. And you see here for this section here, then you see here, I've got a little the text here is based on which category they're in. So the text that would appear here if there were no fit would be this text. Yeah. If they were a low fit, as is the case here, this text here appears here now. Yeah. If it's a potential fit, this is the text that would appear. Finally, if they're a great fit, then this is a text here that will appear here. It took me a while to work this one out the other day. So that's that section. If we click onto this section now, again, for each category, we can have a response based on no fit, low fit, potential fit, or great fit. So the no so for each of these categories, I can't customize the text per category yet. It's just one text fits all. So if I show you this blue one here, you see this category in my scoring here is a potential fit. So that's the text you see. Yeah. For this category here, it was a great fit. So you see here, this is a text you see here. It should be. Oh, sorry, if we go to that one there. This is a text here that's seen there. So you customize each section based on your categories. Then the final one here, discovery call here. Again, it's the same process. The block of text that appears here depends on the options we selected here. So see here, if it was a no fit, then I'm taking them to an article. Yeah, I'm not, the button would say check out the high level alternatives, take them to an article. If they're a low fit, you can't see it here, but it would be book a discovery call. Potential fit. Here again, it'll be book a discovery call and great fit. Book a discovery call. So it's important to get your head around that each of these four sections, that one, or three rather, and that one, the responses in here will be based on the categories and their scores. So it's dynamically generating it. But in this section here, I can't customize the response based on that particular stage, unfortunately. Well, not at the moment anyway. So we just have to make that a little bit more generic, that text in that section. Huh, any questions on customizing the quiz there, Atticus? Because that took me a bit of getting my head around that bit, I must admit. You there,
Can you
Atticus?
recap how the questions score?
How they score, yeah? We'll come out here a sec. I'll start on the first one here, yeah. So if you click, you click on here, yes, you go to custom fields, you can I'd pull in the custom field of the questions and you drop it in here. As soon as you do that, you get this for each stage you add, each category or whatever you add, you can then assign to that question, that answer, a score in a category. So you see, I've got the four categories. Business growth, the state of business is that, the internal staff capabilities, the marketing and sales, what's it called? I call that one marketing and sales processes. I think that one is customer experience and growth intentions. So I'm adding there's a category of questions for each of those, and it's adding scores, and it works out the percentage based on what other answers. So when I was designing this question, this quiz rather, again I went to ChatGPT. So I worked with ChatGPT for a little while just to have it formulate the questions and give me an idea of the scoring. So the ChatGPT did a lot of the work for me, came up with the ideas for the questions, then refined it, and then I had to take those questions and insert them into the quiz here. Yep. One thing I realized I had to do is obviously testing it is I don't think it's exact science, or I've not worked out as an exact science to testing this, but I went through and I checked, right, okay, the worst answers is obviously someone's going to be my lowest score if they answer no to everything. So I checked out all the worst answers to make sure that if all the worst answers didn't give me anything other than it's not a fit for you. And so I had to go and massage the results to make that happen. Because you don't want to say everyone say if they said no to everything, you don't want to say, oh, you're a great fit or something like that. So I just went and sense checked out. Is that okay? Does that answer how you set up the questions? It's down here. And as I say, and based on based on each answer, you assign points, and you can have them jump, skipping questions, skipping pages, if subsequent questions aren't relevant to the answer they've just given you.
That seems clear. Seems clear.
Okay. Again, obviously, if you go back to, I may as well show you quickly on the automation while we're here, the options. Don't change anything there. To finish off, we've got the automation. So I must admit, I've not got around to setting up the automation for that survey I've set up. But if I was going, it's just sending me an email when someone fills it in. But if I did want to set up the automation, I go to here, start with a blank one again, click on here, type in quiz, I think it'll be. Quiz submitted. The quiz name, so obviously it is Julian Mills quiz like that. Again, so that would trigger on all responses to the quiz. We could add filters in here. So for instance, the business growth score is greater than 50%, say. Yep. So you could build a whole set of workflows triggering off of that one survey. Yep. There's a lot you could do with that, and say the trigger, and then you could build out your automation as well. I don't think there's any more specific quiz actions we can do. It's obviously, so it'd be the normal sort of follow-ups. If fill a quiz in, if they've got over 50% or below 50% on a category, you can trigger different workflows, follow them up in different ways. Yeah,
Could you put the score that the contact got from the quiz in an email via a custom value?
good question. Very good question. Yeah, is that your question or somebody's in the?
That's my question, actually.
Is that your kind of good question, actually? So we go to let's go an email. Send the email. Yeah, because it's triggered by the quiz, we should have that data available to us. So click on here. Let's try custom values.
I bet you could create it though if you can't do it like that.
Well, you'd have the data anyway in custom fields.
Yeah.
But do I saw that? Good question. Let's try that one. I could have sworn you could do that. No. I'll have to check that one, guys, because I could have sworn it could embed you've got your scores in the emails. Right, okay. But I'll make a note of that one. Hi there, just coming back to you with an answer to the question I couldn't answer on the forms, surveys, and quizzes workshop. So the question was asked, can we merge the results of the quiz into an email? So I thought the answer originally would be click simply this. The trigger would be the quiz being completed, quiz submitted. The quiz name is, yeah. So I thought the trigger would be the quiz being completed like that. And then in here, I'll be able to go to the email like this, send an email, yeah, and I'd be able to merge into the email the results of the quiz like this. I thought I'd be able to do this. So go here. And you see here, it wasn't an option, okay? So I've checked with tech support, and I'm afraid we can do it, but it's like a bit more of a long-winded process, shall we say. So for instance, what I'd have to do is the quiz is submitted, yep, that's like that, fine, yep. Quiz is submitted. I then have to use an if-else. If-else like this. I've got score 1, score 2, score 1. So quiz, score 1. Select that one. So the workflow trigger is, oh, not that one. So again, I'm just working this out as I go along. So I don't think that's going to work. Okay, so it doesn't work on that option. Turn that. So take that one out. So what I have to do is a quiz submitted. Yeah, I'm going to use a filter here. Add filters. And here we go. Internal capability score is greater than, say, 50%. Okay, so I'd have to set up an individual workflow for each one. You build a whole set of these. Basically, that is going to trigger when the quiz score is over 50%. And then what I'd do then is I would store that as a custom field, update a custom field. And I think I created one a minute ago. Let me check. Where is it? Oh, I can't find it now. But what I have to do is store that answer, quiz score, and put it in over 50%. Over 50%. Okay. So to save that, whatever that value is here, I'd save that as a custom field, and then I'd be able to then later on Go send an email. Send an email. And I can merge into that email the custom value, custom field, which would be quiz score. If you can see it. A quiz score somewhere. Where is it? Quiz score. And I can merge in the quiz score, whatever value I've captured in there. So yeah, we can customize the emails with the score, but we'd probably have to create a whole range of separate workflows to populate the custom fields, which we could then merge into the relevant email. Okay, a bit long-winded, but we can do it. Okay, cheers now, thanks. And anything else there, Atticus?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay, guys, everyone's been quiet today. Is there any other questions before we leave that? Because I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover.
Yeah, Julian.
Well, hi, Steve.
Looking for a solution for salespeople who are out prospecting and trying to ask the same questions and to get consistent answers from prospecting. So we're looking at buying maybe a data list through Lusher or something like that, and then contacting these people and then sort of trying to do a little bit of a survey or something on them to try and qualify those that are maybe a better fit for future marketing. What would you suggest around that? More of a survey rather than a quiz.
Well, yeah, I think a survey would be better. Yeah. So what I would do, what I'm thinking off the top of my head, would be you just set up a survey. Right. Surveys. Did I set up that agency one here? Yeah. And then if you go to when you go to integrate here, you get the link. Yeah. And then
Bookmark it or something.
paste that. Yeah. So what you could do is you could, for instance, drop all the contacts in to a workflow and create a task. One way to do it would be create a task. Yeah. So someone gets 100 tasks, which is basically to phone 100 people, and on the task then would be a link to the survey. So they look at the task, get the phone number, the name. They click on the link then, and it brings them straight to this. Obviously, you don't need all the fancy pictures and stuff, do you? But then they could just go through here answering the questions.
So if it was the salesperson making the phone calls and then talking to people through the survey, would that work? Because what email would they put in at the bottom of the survey? How would they know that they've spoken to different people?
Yeah, so I mean, I think to use a survey, the salesperson, they'd have to pop in at least the email address.
That's the email address of the person they're speaking to.
Person they're speaking to, yeah.
Yeah.
So for the salesperson, so we can set them a task, in the system.
Yeah.
Get a task, they've got the name, email address, and the link to the survey. They make the phone call, they go through the questions. Again, you can have conditional logic here. So if they say yes or no to things, you can skip out bits they don't need. It's almost like a
Yeah.
script, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of it, they've got the email address from the task. Paste in the email. They'd have to paste the email address in here, and then that would bring all the data into that contacts record.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Trigger the automation. Then that's the way I'd do it.
Okay. So the questions for that survey then we would generate as custom fields, and then
Yes.
build the survey out using those custom fields.
Yes, and then the way I would store your custom fields, organize your custom fields, go back.
Yeah. Put them all, group them all under a.
Yes. If you group them all under a sort of a folder. I'll show you one here. Yeah. So you see here. So these are all folders of custom fields I've got. Too many really, but it's just grown up over time, a bit scrappy. Yeah. So there's all the responses from my quiz I was showing you. So you can have that for your survey. So it's all there. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you create a new folder there?
of custom fields. So you go to settings and go to where is it? Custom fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to be confused with custom values, which you talked about before. Custom
Yeah.
fields. Then you go to so you got a whole list there. You see, I've got quite a few. But you go to folders, and that's where your folders live. You see, there's the Julian Mills quiz one there I just showed you, and they're all organized in there. Yeah, and you can grab them and move them about. You can move the order about easily. You can add a new field in that custom folder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, that's useful. Thank you.
Okay, great. Any further questions, guys?
Hi, Julian. It's Jeremy here. We have slightly different focus for our business in that we already know most of our customers who we're connecting via the CRM. So we're not really using forms and quizzes and stuff
Yeah.
to collect data off of, not necessarily data off people, but not their original data. So what we want to do is send somebody a link where we already know who they are when they start filling out the form. So they don't have to fill out any data unless we want them to ask more data. So more a question of, how do you send somebody an email link, for example, where we'd already their email, their first name, their last name would already be pre-filled on the funnel or pre-filled on the form that we'd ask them to fill out. So we might want to ask them some questions about, how they got on with their business with us, or was there anything else that we can help them with. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to create a new contact, because we'll have to then merge contacts and do all sorts of shit. So we want to make sure that the data, where, for example, you've got your custom folder, for example, your Julian form, we want to create a Christmas quiz, for example, or a Christmas information stuff, so that we want that filled out underneath them when we send it. So do you think you could go through how we could send them an email with a link in it, with a quiz, so that the data ends up in their already existing account or existing contact?
Got it. Yeah. So in HighLevel, it merges records based on up to two criteria: email address and phone number. So it knows
Sure.
both of those or one of those, it'll merge the records. Yeah. So it's a case of
Sure.
appending onto the link the parameters. I don't know what the terminology is, and I haven't got anything to hand there. But what I would do, the first thing I would do is go to a friendly chat GPT. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. GPT.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go away and dig out the code, but I'm just trying to do it quickly here, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me an example, a link to pass over. I think, is it URL parameters
Yeah.
to
Oh, I know how to. Oh, GoHighLevel. Yeah.
level form, something like that. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just doing it very
Yeah.
quickly here, but it'll be something like this. I think this is the bit here. So there's your form,
Yeah.
and it'd be so adding this bit here, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, you wouldn't hard code it with my name in there. We'd be merging in from we'd be putting in there the HighLevel custom fields for the first name, the email there.
Okay.
So we just have to work out and test getting that link right.
Yeah. So I can put like that as a button on. So often we'll use, for example, we'll use a WhatsApp chat with a button on it.
Okay, yep.
So we can then add that as a parameter on the button.
Is that
So I
WhatsApp?
just need the email, really.
Yeah, is that WhatsApp button? Is that coming through? Is that coming through HighLevel? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you just merging, obviously replace where I've got my name there with the custom field, the the field for the
Yep.
first name, email, yeah. And then so that would pass through, and then what you would do, you go to the form again.
So it's more in the form. How does that work in the form?
Well, yeah, the form will just pick it up from that link.
Yeah,
So what I would do here, go to sites, go to forms. So go to one I was working on here. So what you don't want to do is let people have the option to change that email address, because
yeah,
if they go and say I don't want that email address, I want my other email address. Suddenly you've got duplicates now.
yeah.
So what you could do here, so the key ones are here are these ones. So what you could do here is make it hidden like that. Make it hidden. So behind the
Okay.
scene, those fields get populated, but the receiver of this phone won't see those fields, so
Yeah,
they can't change their email address and cause problems creating duplicate contacts that way.
sure.
So
And I can just do that for one field.
yeah, you just at least the email address, but the phone gives you
Yeah.
a
Okay. Sorry, because I'd probably want my questions as fields 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
yeah.
20. You know, did you use us last Christmas? Would you use us next Christmas?
Yes, yeah, yep.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Is that okay,
Okay.
Jeremy? Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, fine. And then the email is the top, and that's hidden, and then everything then just gets put straight into their
Yeah, yeah.
hidden value. Okay, fine.
That's what I would do, yeah. Now, one thing I've just thought of here is, again, these are the forms in high level, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. You don't necessarily need to use these forms. So some people, you might already have a website set up with forms that have been customized to your requirements,
sure.
especially like gravity forms or something like that. And you don't want to, or maybe there's functionality in those forms that you don't have in the high level form. So again, we can integrate with those forms as well. You might use something like Zapier or
No, no,
web.
it's fine because I literally want to use funnels for. I don't anything I want off of a customer. I want to use a GoHighLevel form, so I might even embed
Yeah,
that into my web page, put it in as you know, um, pre-filled view, so it's like a sub form, embedded form inside my web page. So yes, they think they're filling it in on my web page, but actually they're filling it in on a GoHighLevel form.
got it. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you understand that, Jeremy. I was just making the point that you don't necessarily have to use the forms or surveys or quizzes in high level. So,
Oh no, no, no! I want to use them because I want the data to end up back in HighLevel.
got it. Yeah, yeah, you can do. Yeah, but we can integrate with third-party tools. So we mentioned before about what's better, Score App or the high level quizzes. So if you
Yeah,
decide to go with Score App, that's fine. And I've done this for
yeah.
clients previously. We can integrate the results from Score App to push the data in to high level, either by Zapier or using the webhooks.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I get that right. So you
but
got
that's that's extra coding. I'd rather use high levels coding if it's going to give me something for free. I'll just rather take that.
I fully agree with that. Yeah, you use what you've got in the box first before you go out.
Yes, yeah. If I can't do it in the box, then I'll have to do it outside. But yeah,
Yeah, keep things simple. It's all keep things simple.
yeah,
Okay, is that okay, Jeremy? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's great. Thank you very much. That's really helpful.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. Anyone else out there need any questions before we break off?
I think that's a wrap.
Is that a wrap? Okay. Okay, then we'll call it a day then. Thanks for attending today, guys. The next workshop is going to be the websites and funnels, isn't it, Atticus?
Yeah.
So next, that'll be the next one. We'll send you a link to book onto that in the future calls, and we'll see you then. And in the meantime, if you've got any questions or want a high level account, we're all ears and happy to talk to you. Please book a discovery call. Okay, thank you. So thank you for attending the recording of the workshop, forms, quizzes and surveys. Now we've finished, so Atticus will put a QR code on the screen now. If you've got any more questions, like to talk about high level and book on to the next workshops, which is websites and funnels, then please scan the code and we'll talk again. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.